we just started literally 5 years ago, and we are growing, still growing extremely rapidly. Privacy is ever evolving game. It really started a lot with GDPR, where the companies had to be compliant with new regulations. Job, which is a mixture of both product, engineering, and really evangelizing data science across OneTrust.
Good morning. So today I have Madan with us, who co-founded VC, a funded company which was successfully acquired by Intel. He raised funding, developed business plans, signed up initial beta customers, and wore multiple hats until the acquisition. Madan has had success leading a lot of teams, which he will tell us about during this podcast. Also, welcome Madan on 10 Minutes of Hiding Wisdom, where he will tell us about what he has learned along the way and how we can learn from his learnings. Hi Madan, how are you doing today?
Hi, Minal, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much, Madan, for joining us. So, Madan, can you tell us about your journey a little bit, and then we'll get started on where you currently work and your position?
Sure. So I'm the head of data science at OneTrust today. So OneTrust is a data science, data governance, data privacy is a SaaS platform. It started in 2016, and now it has grown to more than 3,000 employees with more than 10,000 customers. So it's one of the fastest SaaS growing company in the United States today. And my charter is to build a data science team across the OneTrust here.
Okay. And my next question is, what was so special about your specific SaaS company that it boomed?
So the reason OneTrust has worked so far is because privacy is ever evolving game. It really started a lot with GDPR, where the companies had to be compliant with new regulations, and there are new regulations which are coming, and the governments are becoming far more privacy oriented. So with every privacy regulations, the corporates have to figure out a way how they can be privacy compliant. And that's the way, basically, that was the way OneTrust was able to tap into. And that's why you are seeing a phenomenal growth for the company here.
No, that makes sense. I'd love to understand, Madan, how did you start becoming a part of this company? Did you know someone within the company? What was your process like getting into this company?
So essentially, OneTrust was looking for a leader to come and build a data science team, and they contacted me based upon my LinkedIn profile. And I was not necessarily looking for a job per se, but when I talk with the recruiter, when I talk with the management team, the opportunity was quite intriguing, and I thought that there would be a lot of skills which I we can bring to the table. And so there were three main reasons. One was the company was growing very, very fast. B, there was a good opportunity to build data science initiative across the company. And the third thing is that we have a really smart company, employees. The team was phenomenal. So everything kind of worked out to be very well.
Okay, so it worked out in your favor. And what realized, as in, like, of course, these three factors were the reason that you moved into the company. What were some of the factors that you realized that, okay, it was time for you to move on from your previous company?
I was not necessarily looking for a job per se, but sometimes the opportunity comes out to be is so compelling that you kind of have to reevaluate whether I want to keep working with my previous employer or should I take this new opportunity. And the opportunity here was compelling enough that it basically decided to jump here.
Okay, that makes sense. And you mentioned that they were looking for a leader. So when you did come into this company specifically, what were some of the key actions that you took to build out a successful data science team?
So there were three things which the company was looking for: somebody who has a lot of business background. So because second one, somebody who has a deep understanding of data science and specifically artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms. And third one is somebody who can bridge the gap and build the new initiatives across different product teams. So it's a job which is a mixture of both product, engineering, and really evangelizing data science across OneTrust. And as an entrepreneur, I had actually done that as my previous few jobs. I had done a similar roles. So it was exactly the fit which I wanted to basically pursue.
Okay, so it definitely worked out for you and you built out a successful team. I think my next question for you would be, what are some of the characteristics that you look for when you're hiring for people within your team? Like, is it resilience? Is it hard work? Just like curious because every manager has that perfect candidate. So according to you, what is something that would be like, okay, for you, wow, this candidate would be a
Yeah,
really
that's an
good fit for
interesting
my team?
question. So to answer any question, there is never a perfect candidate. So that is the you have to understand that. Uh, However, there are three characteristics which I look for in a person, and first of all is the communication skill, because even if it's an engineering job, you still need the right communication skill because you're communicating across your teamwork, your uh, co-workers, as well as selling your concept constantly within the job. So that is number one. For specifically for data science, I do look for a background at least 3 to 5 years of data science experience along with educational degree in data science, because these are actually very complex and specific jobs. So somebody who has that background, I definitely want to make sure that they are aligned with that. um, the third thing which I do look for is chemistry with the culture, whether he or she, the candidate, can fit in the culture or not. Because OneTrust, as well as most of the companies, have their unique culture, and if the candidate is not fit with the culture, it doesn't work out very well. So those are the three things which I actually look for.
Okay, and you touched upon culture, which is something that's very important because I think culture definitely is a bigger aspect of a candidate's life when they come into work, how strongly they feel tied to it. So, can you maybe elaborate a little more on the culture of
Absolutely.
OneTrust?
So first of all, it's a very entrepreneurial company. We just started literally 5 years ago, and we are growing, still growing extremely rapidly. So, one is entrepreneurial. B, somebody who can come into a very unstructured environment, and without a lot of training, you should be able to start delivering to the team. So, that is the second one. Third one is essentially it's a very collegial work culture. So everybody is works in a team. So highly teamwork is a third aspect of it. So yeah, so three things: entrepreneurial, should be able to combine and set up new processes, and somebody who is actually teamwork.
Okay, no, those all three are very important just because I think being collaborative and working with other people brings out the best ideas and creativity tends to flow. So I think that is definitely that's very important. But thank you so much for coming on the show, Madan. Our time is up. Just the last question for you would be can you maybe touch upon briefly which departments are hiring within your company? Your company is rapidly growing, but
So
would love to
yeah,
hear from you
OneTrust
regarding
is
that.
hiring across a lot of salespeople, uh, especially in professional services, where the candidate is working with the customers and deploying our product. Uh, Definitely in engineering areas, those are the areas where the company is still hiring pretty rapidly, and all the positions are on OneTrust.com.
Okay, well, Madan, thank you so much for coming on the show, for sharing about your wonderful journey, how you wore multiple hats throughout your journey, specifically when it came to problem solving and building out your own team. It was an absolute pleasure learning about you, your wonderful company, and how far you've built out your team, which is paving
Okay,
its way
thanks
towards
thanks for me.
success. Thank you so much.